People sometimes think trees are your enemy. In fact, they're not at all, because the trees actually do slow the fire down a little bit. So chopping down every single tree within Kui is not the greatest idea either. One of the things that came up was assistance from the Red Cross and St Vinny's and people like that. Initially, because I was insured, I said, look, I really don't want any money. People around me said, you're crazy, you're entitled to it. People have tried to give you this money to try to recover. So reluctantly I did take some money from the St Vincent's to Paul, and it was really handy because when you do your insurance claim, there's always stuff that you miss and that sort of thing. So it came in very handy, and again you sort of get that feeling that people out there care. People who gave so selflessly, it makes a huge difference. Yeah. So that's part of the recovery process. And the other part of the recovery process is just the community coming together. Before the fires, my neighbour too, I said g'day a couple of times, but now we know each other, so that sort of really brings people together in hard times. And certainly the work that one of our members in the RFS, Antonia, did in bringing the community together after the fires was really something that made you feel better, after you've been through such a bad time. Mount Wilson and Mount Irvine, which also got very heavily impacted by the fires, so they are absolute garden nuts out that way. The house next door would be a horror story in the worst possible building that you could have in a bushfire. It's all timber, it's got open timber verandas, but because he'd cleared everything, it was enough to save that house. If you're in a rural setting such as we are here, there's quite a lot of fuel load there, and it's about managing that fuel load. My two neighbours spoke to me well before the fires, and I told them that the amount of fuel load that they had on their properties was going to make it very hard for those houses to be defended. And both of those neighbours really worked hard, as did I, in cleaning the scrub down so that we took the fuel load out. When the fires came through, it absolutely roared through the area behind us, which hadn't been touched, but the fire came nice and slow at us in these three houses. And that's why those houses, I think, are still standing, is that they did prepare well. I believe it was in excess of 40 houses just in the Clarence-Dargan area. And that is so hard for people to come back from that. Some people chose to move away, not rebuild, which is sad. Most of them are pretty resilient. And that's something that's helped our business as well. I think people see that there's been devastation, and rather than in the past just driving past, they've actually come in and they bought plants and where they probably wouldn't have in the past. So that's been really good too. Never underestimate how good humanity is.